Caitlin Clark, her technical foul, remember, that was issued during the third quarter, has been rescinded by the league. This is the foul. This would have been her 8th tech of the season, which means she would have been suspended for Indiana's game against the Liberty on Tuesday. So the explanation, Andrea, that the Fever got during the game was that the crew felt that Caitlin put a little extra sauce on the forearm when she ran into that official. Did the league get this right, rescinding the technical foul?
Can we see it again? Team crew in the control room, can I see it again? Because you all watched this in real time.
Yeah.
You all watched this happen in real time. I was surprised that a technical foul was called. Her motion is continuing. I don't feel like she's pushing off.
No.
I'm like, what? Unless she said something, and now it's going to be she said, she said.
That's what it was for me.
Yeah, but now you're in a tough spot. Because if Caitlin, of course, is going to say, I didn't say anything, and the ref is, now it's what happened here. But to me, if you're blaming it on that push-off, they needed to take that technical foul back.
Caitlin likes to talk her talk. And so when we watched the video and she said nothing, I was like, there's nothing there. And so I'm glad that they rescinded it, because for that action being minimal, like a brush, this is what should have happened, and the right thing happened. What? Like, what is
all I'm saying is I have flashbacks to college when my teammate bumped into a coach like this and it was a problem.
Where your teammate did what?
Bumped into one of our coaches this way and it was a problem. But I think when we analyze it, if Caitlin didn't say anything, it is marginal. I think rescinding it was fine. But I do understand in the moment how we got here.
Well, and this is why you have the processes in place for the league to be able to. That is a deep sigh. You good?
Yeah, it's just always something. I mean, my goodness.
This also wasn't the only call from that game that has gotten a lot of attention, become a focal point. So let's go back once again to the first quarter of that game, because this is the foul. Let's run the video here, please, producers. DiJonai Carrington was assessed a flagrant 2 for this play on Sophie Cunningham. A flagrant 2 is a foul that is both excessive and unnecessary, right? That is the definition. So after the game, Fever coach Stephanie White was asked for her view of this foul. This is what she said.
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that DiJonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. One of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup, and so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
DiJonai didn't make this play successfully, right? Trying to get a block over the top. It was a very hard foul. DiJonai has made this play successfully so many times throughout her career. No matter what team she has played on, we have seen DiJonai make transition blocks.
Right.
So to me, I understand it was called a flagrant 2. I wouldn't have been mad if it was called a flagrant 1, because I do think she was making a basketball play. It was just a hard foul. It was a really hard foul.
But we've seen replay to that point. Can we show this replay where it's really slowed down? And again, in game time, it's really hard to be able to see this. This is why there are so many replays. This is what you're talking about when you say making a play.
Yeah, so in this, and it's hard to tell because of where the graphic is, but she's trying to make a play on the ball. In reality, Sophie Cunningham got higher than DiJonai off the ground. DiJonai is behind Sophie Cunningham. She's late to make this play. She's not in the right position to make the block and make the play on the ball, and so she ends up hitting Sophie Cunningham in the face.
And I think not being in the right position is what escalated it to a flagrant 2, because that, when you look at the definition, unnecessary and excessive, the unnecessary part to me is, even though maybe your attempt was to try to make a play on the ball, the majority of the contact was above the neck. And also that contact was excessive. Plus, she was in the air.
Right.
And so when I looked at this in-game flow, I was like, okay, that was a lot, and I was not mad at it being a flagrant 2.
And it's pretty automatic. When you hit someone in the neck or the head, that tends to be a pretty automatic flagrant 2 here, Mike.
We talked about the degree of contact above the head. That is what made it a flagrant 2. I just want to show that DiJonai has made these plays before. So if we roll the tape, because I think we have some plays from DiJonai. So these are plays we've seen from DiJonai, right? So getting in the right position, jumping over the top, getting these transition blocks. She's always going to make that effort. So even for some of these, she's behind the offensive player coming over the top. So again, she was behind Sophie Cunningham. She wasn't able to get over the top. Had she got over the top and made that play, we wouldn't have been talking about it. She was too far behind the play. The contact above the head was too much. But that's what DiJonai Carrington does. Like, to me, this wasn't because it was Sophie Cunningham making the layup. DiJonai would have tried to make that play on anybody making a layup, because that's what she's done throughout her career. So I just want to make it known. It wasn't DiJonai versus Sophie Cunningham. That's DiJonai Carrington versus anybody.
I think that is incredible context, and I love the video to support that. The other part, though, to me is like, it's competition. And I say this all the time when we have opportunities to have conversations about sports, about women's sports at large. Like, you are competing.
Yeah.
When you have a track record, you have confidence in making those plays. Sometimes it's a swing and a miss, literally, and the repercussions are that they are.
And these are also split decisions that you make in the middle of a play. And I would say, you know, me personally, when you are someone that in 3 minutes has scored 8 points and it's probably you were rolling, a lot of times people would say, like, I'm going to give you that layup. And
because I'm more important.
Because I'm more important. And maybe, like, this is an opportunity for her to be like, okay, maybe in this scenario, this is not what I'll do. But this is what she always does and what she is known for. But regardless of what she's known for, I still think that this was called correctly.
And we have to be able to discuss these types of fouls as you would in any sport without a hard foul being an indictment on someone's character. And sometimes that nuance in the slowed down replays on the internet where tempers are high gets a little bit lost. So that's what we're attempting to do here and do our best. And again, we can't get inside the hearts and minds of any of these players, but we can assess what we see on the court, and that's exactly what we saw.